Hi guys, it's me, Daz, and if you're new here, I upload nearly daily videos on life really with anxiety and depression. And today you're going to be delving into the world of driving.
You must be a devil with the ladies.
So before we start driving, we have to have lessons. Now that is obviously a massive stress, anxious area in itself.
Oh yeah.
Never having driven before, getting into a car, the idea of just driving is like, you take control of that car and suddenly you're in this weapon that could just kill someone, and you're like, and so it's super stressful and very anxious, and a lot of people struggle with just the initial control and so many things going on, what your feet are doing, change gears, you're looking at what's going on, your mirrors, so many things happening at the same time. It's a real bucket of anxiety.
No sir, I don't like it.
Anyone with anxiety, just driving a car is just an amazing thing because there's so much going on. So well done if you've managed to get that far. But the driving test, I mean, God, the driving test. You've done your lessons. You're there. You're ready. You want to drive. You want to get out into the world and see new places and experience new things and all those crazy ideas we all have before we pass our test, and then we pass the test and then basically go nowhere.
Are you sure?
We just go to the shops. And that's basically it. It's that idea of the test, and someone's going to be there sitting next to you and just judging you, and you've got to drive and check the mirrors and don't go too fast, don't go too slow, don't hit the curb, don't hit someone else, don't kill anyone, hopefully. It's an insane experience, and the anxiety levels with any kind of test are huge, but with a driving test, there's so much going on, and there's kind of almost so much at stake.
I'm all set for my driving test.
It's amazing how anyone really passes their test. Now, part of that driving test, and part of life, let's be honest, is parking. This, again, is a whole area of anxiety and stress, because if you could just drive straight into a space, that is just the ticket. We're all Gucci, it's all fine and dandy, rock and roll. But that's not the case, is it? There's never a space where you just drive straight in and then drive straight out of, because that would be perfect. If that would just be stopping on the road and then starting again. So you've got parallel parking, there's always a space between two cars, and you've got to reverse into that space without hitting the curb, without scraping the wheels if you've got nice wheels on your car, or it's your partner's car and they've got nice wheels on the car, and I'm sure they're like and giving you lots of grief about not scraping the wheels and not hitting the car and all that kind of stuff.
I'll tell you what my problem is.
Plus, if you're on your test, you certainly don't want to hit the curb, because obviously that's going to be a failure. I think. I don't know. It's about 1,000 years since I did my driving test, before wheels were invented, or in fact cars were invented. It was like a horse and cart. You get the idea. So basically that whole reverse parking, how does anyone do that? I mean, it's just stress city. The other type of parking is obviously into a parking space, where you're either going forwards or reverse. But again, reversing, and you're kind of reversing in a curve, and it's not the easiest thing to do. These are the things that kind of add stress and anxiety to driving. Parking is one huge thing of that. Now let's get on to a thing that we all have to deal with driving: bad weather. Now wherever you live in the world, there's going to be some bad weather at some point, and some places are a lot worse than others. But bad weather is something that you can't really prepare for, you can't really practice with, unless it happens quite often. You could be driving along and then suddenly this torrential rain comes down. You can't really prepare for that, and it can be quite scary. It can be quite like, shit, what's going to go on now? Suddenly your windscreen wipers are on max, you've got such limited visibility, your brakes may not be as good, there's also the potential of skidding if you need to stop suddenly, and the noise of it, and other drivers around you, and then spray. There's just so many things to cause anxiety. It's just mental, because it's hard to know what's going on completely, and you do need an element of calmness and confidence, and that's why a lot of people don't like driving in really bad weather, which makes sense.
Okay.
Something that's exasperated by bad weather, and also is a thing that's just normal and just real kind of challenge to anyone with anxieties: motorway driving. High speed, multiple lanes, because in theory it should be the easiest kind of driving, because it's very straight, there's no sharp curves, it's very sort of simple driving. But you are going 50, 60, 70 or more.
Be careful.
And you're going at quite a fast speed, and therefore any slight error can cause a major problem. A lot of people, once they start driving and they've got some anxiety and they're new to it, they don't like driving on motorways, because the room or margin of error is tiny, and you've got other people speeding past you. It's just, again, someone really close up behind, possibly someone close up to you behind, possibly someone close up behind. I'm getting fucking anxious doing this. Someone close up to... Fuck's sake. Someone close behind you. That doesn't even make sense now. Fuck it. Someone close up to you? Close up... Someone close up behind you. Nailed it.
You're a stupid dumbass.
It's also very stressful because, again, you're going fast and you think, well, if I brake, they're going to hit me. What's going to happen then? And all this sort of stuff. So, weirdly, whilst, as I said, driving on a motorway at high speed should be less stressful because it's very simple, there's a lot of things going on there, and just the idea of going that fast, that's a huge causer of anxiety. Along with driving, there's many other things that cause anxiety and also depression and other mental health issues. So if you are struggling with anything to that degree, you can get some great online help with an app and a service called BetterHelp. And if you enter the code DAZHAND, you'll get 10% off. I'll pop a link in the description. Check it out because it's a real great service.
Thank you.
Now, along with motorways causing so much stress and anxiety, the opposite of those, which are country lanes, cause equal amounts of anxiety. But you've got these small winding roads, and often there's no road markings or street lamps. So at night it's completely pitch black. You can't see if anything's coming because you've got these tight windy bends. And so the problem is, you're driving along, suddenly there's a car, or worse, a big truck there. The anxiety that's caused from driving in country lanes is huge because, yeah, you just don't know what's going to be around the next corner. And it could be like a big puddle, a cow, other farmyard animal, tractor or truck or car, or someone walking, horsing.
That's private horse.
Again, a nightmare to drive on country lanes because that anxiety is like... Even though, you know, you're not going super fast and it should be fine, but it's almost like the unknown. You don't know what's going to be around the next corner. And that in itself is the problem.
I don't know what you're saying.
Now, one of the biggest causes of anxiety and stress and problems driving is just that fear of breaking down.
Really, Daddy?
The idea of breaking down somewhere, and it's going to be somewhere in the middle of nowhere or far from home or something like that, is really like, because you break down, you're on your own.
That was a bad time for you, wasn't it, boy?
Now, these days, obviously, we've got mobile phones. We can call someone, we can call a breakdown service or a friend or your partner or something like that. But the very fact of breaking down and you can't carry on your journey, it's just the hassle and the very problem of it happening can be very stressful and just cause major anxiety. And if and when it happens, then it's just like,
Oh, what's gonna happen now?
just the whole concept of it is just, just driving in itself is just like the biggest cause of anxiety ever. It's amazing how anyone actually ever drives with anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
And that brings us on to the next point, which is road rage.
I know you're mad and everything.
The whole thing of road rage can be a double-sided thing because someone cuts you up, someone cuts in front of you or doesn't let you out or something like that. If you're already anxious and you're already heads up about, it's almost human nature to shout, you know, give them the finger, swear, whatever, because you're just frustrated, you're angry, you're out of my way. Now, that person may go, whatever, and carry on. Or they may get out and come and hit you. Or worse.
Cotton urine all over your face.
The idea of making mistakes on the road, which we all do and will do at some point, can cause others to have some mad road rage.
Go to hell!
And that in itself can make you make mistakes. If you're so uptight and anxious with driving and driving on the country lane on the motorway, that makes you make mistakes, which makes someone else get angry, and it's an absolute nightmare. Really is. And as I said, it's amazing how anyone with any degree of anxiety ever drives. It really is. Now, to amp things up to the ridiculous level, let's take all of those and just swap it around. And when I say swap it around, I mean driving overseas.
Planning to travel with your own car right across Europe?
Now, I'm in the UK. We can literally get on a train with the car, and in half an hour or so, we're in France. There, we're driving on the other side of the road.
Okay, what?
This is a challenge, to say the least, because one, you've got cars on the other side of the road, the signs are in different language, and there's different rules, there's different laws you don't necessarily know. And so many people drive overseas, and there's so many things that you perhaps should know and perhaps should find out about, but you don't.
Just start driving.
Particularly for us Brits, all our signs in the UK are in miles per hour, but in continental Europe they're all in kilometres per hour. So you see a sign that says 70, You think, oh, 70, but if you drive 70 miles an hour, that's like, I think, 110 kilometres an hour. Completely different speed and well over the speed limit.
I have no idea.
So stuff like that, all the same usual stuff that gives you massive anxiety, normally amped up because it's in a different language, different side of the road, angry drivers, they're frustrated, and it's just absolute nightmare.
That's a lot of baloney.
So let me know in the comments your driving anxiety experiences. I'd love to hear about it. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe here and check out my other video up here. And remember, don't take life so seriously because you're only one laugh away. See you next time. Bye.